Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the leader for the opportunity to take this hour to discuss some extremely important issues here in the United States. We've just listened to an hour discussion on taxes with actually very little specificity as to whose taxes are being cut and exactly what those tax cuts would mean to the American economy and to the people of America. Normally, when we take the floor, as we do most every week on the issue of the American economy, we talk about making it in America, rebuilding the great American manufacturing industry. We've seen over the last 20 years that the American manufacturing industry has declined by some 40–45% from just under 20 million Americans in manufacturing to just over 11.5. In the recent months, we've seen a resurgence of the American manufacturing sector, but nonetheless, it is still very small compared to what it once was. If we're going to rebuild the American economy, we do have to rebuild the American manufacturing sector. I'm going to come back to this tax debate here very quickly, but I think we ought to put it in the context of what taxes mean to the American economy, which taxes can be cut, and which could be raised. And the key issues in building the American economy are here on this chart, taxes being one of the second pieces. But the rest of them are also important. International trade issues, for example, how do we deal with China and the China currency issue? How do we deal with the importation of extraordinary amounts of material, equipment, and goods, while at the same time exporting even less and less? How do we deal with that? The energy issue is exceedingly important if we're going to rebuild the American economy. Labor issues. How do we prepare the American labor market, that is, the men and women that work in America? Oh, by the way, I heard something here from my colleagues on the Republican side that just drives me crazy. When they say that half of Americans don't pay taxes, then they say, oh, we mean income taxes. Let's understand that every American worker, up to those who earn $106,000, pay 6+%, almost 7%, 8% of their total income in taxes. That's the withholding tax. And by the way, it was the Democrats who actually reduced the Social Security withholding tax to half of what it was in previous years. So let's understand that every American worker pays taxes. Now, the income tax issue is another matter, and we'll come to that in a few moments. But Americans who work pay taxes, and let's not forget that in this discussion. In any case, labor is a major issue. This issue of education is now very much being discussed in America, and I want to really focus on that during this one-hour discussion. Research, critical to the future of America's economy. And finally, the infrastructure upon which all of this is built. These are the issues that the Democrats have taken up in building and restarting, reigniting the American dream. Reigniting the American dream so that men and women in this country can get a decent job, earn enough to be in the middle class, and raise their families, own a home if they want to own a home, take a vacation when they need to have one or want to have one, and be able to have health care so they needn't worry about bankruptcy, which is in this nation caused more than 60% of the time by health care and health care problems. So trade, taxes, energy, labor, education, research, and infrastructure are the key issues in reigniting the American dream and rebuilding the American economy. Tax is a major portion of this, and I don't want to forget about taxes. We just heard this one-hour discussion about it. The question is, who is taxed and who gets the tax benefits? Less than a month ago, our Republican colleagues put on the floor of the